You sighed, stuffing the heavy bags of groceries in your car trunk. Suddenly, something clicked in your brain and you reached out for your cell phone and dialed your husband's number. You rolled your eyes when he didn't pick up in first try, so you again called him. After a few rings, he picked up the call this time. Make it quick, Ryan, I'm busy. He sounded annoyed. You knitted your eyebrows. Busy? Where are you, Jimin? Office, of course. Where else I can be at this time? Your frown deepened as you felt anger bubbling up inside you. Don't tell me you forgot. What? See, Ryan, I don't have time. You were supposed to pick Jimin from school today and you are still in your office. You ended up raising your voice as worry filled inside you. You heard him cursing from the other side. Listen while I'll go. No need. I'll go now and pick him up. You do your work. You gritted out, mocking him, and hung up the call before he could say something. You clenched your jaw in frustration, but it was soon replaced by concern when your mind diverted to your 5-year-old son. You glanced at your wrist watch and hesitantly got inside the car as it had already 1 hour past his school time. Buckling yourself, you drove off straight to his school. The car halted in front of his school. You saw your son standing with the gatekeeper, looking here and there with a pout. A wide smile appeared on his face when his eyes fell on you. He waved at you excitedly. You hastily got off the car and ran towards him. You picked him up in your arms and kissed all over his face, mumbling apologies again and again. He giggled, feeling ticklish. Sorry, baby, I'm late. It's okay, Mama, let's go home. I'm hungry. He pouted. You felt guilt rushing through your veins. I'm so sorry, you whispered, earning a smile from him. You thanked the old man who smiled at you. You walked to your car carrying your son in your arms. You put him in the back seat and settled on the driving seat. Igniting the engine, you drove off towards your home. You were reading a magazine sitting in the living room. You had just finished preparing dinner and was waiting for your husband. Jimin was playing in his room. He was very sharp for a 5-year-old kid. You were on the last page of the magazine when your husband graced the living room with his presence. From the corner of your eyes, you saw him sitting on the couch across you. He let out a tired sigh. You noticed his worn out state. His tie was loosened, with upper two buttons open off his crinkled and untucked shirt, and messy hair. His coat was lying on the floor, lifeless. You shook your head. No wonder Jamin inherited the same from him. You stood up and stepped towards the kitchen, picking his coat on your way. You came back with a glass of water and handed it to him, who smiled at you. He gulped down the water in one go. He looked at you, looking at him with a stern gaze. He raised his eyebrows, giving you a questioning look. You crossed your arms on your chest, narrowing your eyes at him. What? Why are you looking at me like this? You don't know? That's why I'm asking you, you scoffed. Seriously, Jimin, you are acting like you didn't forget to pick Jimin from school. He sighed. It slipped off my. Your work never slip off your mind. Why? What, Ryan? Didn't I tell you in the morning? And also, I left a text to remind you, but still, you trailed off, giving him a disappointed look. I had back to back meetings today. That's why it slipped off my mind. Don't make a mountain out of a molehill. He spoke with irritation. Exhaustion was also taking a toll on his emotions. You gaped at him in disbelief. Really, Jimin? You're behaving like it's not a big deal. It is not a big deal. I accept I forgot, but you took him back, right? Then just close this matter now. He rubbed his face in frustration. Close the matter? If you forgot, then let me remind you. I also work. Though I work from home, but I never backed off or forgot any of my responsibility. I had to leave for a meeting today, and that's why I asked you to pick Jimin from his school. Otherwise, I would have done it myself. In fact, I did it myself. He clenched his jaw and stood up, looking directly at your eyes. Now you are portraying me as an irresponsible father. He raised his voice, pushing your buttons. You glared at him in anger. I'm not portraying anyone anything. You behave like one. You yelled back at him. Wow, I can't believe this. Just because I forgot one thing because of the loads of work, I became irresponsible. Of course, work is always your priority. Jamin and I are never in the picture. Now you are crossing the line. Oh, yes, I did. What will you do? You both were now shouting at each other, unaware of a pair of eyes who were watching everything. You He stopped when his eyes fell on someone. You followed his gaze and saw your son who was standing near the stairs looking at you both. Are you both fighting? He asked. You both exchanged glancing before looking back at him. No, baby, we are not fighting. Then why were you both shouting at each other? We were clearing our throat, yeah. He shuddered, making up an excuse. You both aren't idols. Why do you need to clear your throat? He narrowed his eyes at you both. You pressed your lips, trying not to burst into laughing, earning a glare from Jimin. Baby, we were just testing who can shout louder. The little boy looked between you both before speaking. You both are weird. He scratched his nose, looking cuter than ever, coming towards you both. Mama, I'm hungry. Yeah, let's go eat. You eyed Jimin, who had settled back on his previous position by now. Jimin, tell your papa to have dinner with us. He looked towards his father. Papa, buddy, tell your mama I lost my appetite. He glared at you while you glared back at him. Mama, tell your papa it's not good to skip your meal. I know that, but what will Papa do when he comes home completely worn out and Mama argues with him? Mama is not crazy to argue over nothing. Papa did not intentionally do whatever happened in the noon. And Mama, stop! You both flinched when Jamie suddenly shouted. You both glanced at him, who was cutely glaring at you both. Why don't you both talk to each other? Stop making me a tennis ball. Mama to Papa and Papa to Mama. You both glared at each other. You held Jamie's hand. Let's go, baby. No, Mama, wait. I need to ask something from both of you. He giggled excitedly, earning a smile from his parents. Jimin and your whole attention was on him. Mama, you know Taemin, my best friend. His parents brought a little sister for him. I also want one. Please give me a cute little sister. You were stunned hearing him. You glanced towards your husband, who was already looking at you with mischief dancing in his eyes, and not to forget the slight smirk on his lips. Before you could say something, Jimin beat you to it. Buddy, tell your mama I don't have any problem, but she needs to cooperate with me. You scolded him. Tell your papa I will not cooperate with anything. Jamin frowned his eyebrows because of what happened today. I don't want the other kid to wait outside the school for 1 hour because Papa forgot to pick them from school. Tell your mama she's again crossing the line. Tell your papa I will cross every line when it comes to my kid. Tell your mama stop, 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 stop. He angrily stomped his feet and flared his nose. Stop fighting! Baby, we are not fighting. Yes, you are. He placed his hands on his tiny waist. I am 5, but you both are behaving like one. Stop fighting like kids and behave like adults. Grow up. He huffed cutely while you both looked down. Sorry, you both apologized together. Give me money. He extended his hand. But why do you need money? To buy a sister. I'll buy a baby sister myself. You both keep fighting. He spoke, glaring at his parents, earning a chuckle from them. You can't buy a baby sister. You ruffled his hair, bending down to his level. But why? How will I get a baby sister then? You nibbled your lower lip, finding appropriate words to explain to him. Only we can give you one. You flinched when he spoke beside you, his hot breath fanning your ears, sending goosebumps all over your body. Then give me one. I need your mama's permission. You snapped your head in his direction. He smirked at you. Ask your mama, Jimin. Mama, please. Your gaze diverted to Jimin, who was looking at you with his puppy face that he inherited from his father. Let's have dinner. You walked towards the kitchen. Jimin and Jimin were hot on your tail. You were lying on the bed after being done with all the work. Jimin was in Jimin's room telling him a bedtime story because he insisted. During the dinner time, Jimin was staring at you, though you ignored, but you knew his eyes were stuck on you, and you also knew what was going on in his pervert mind. You quickly closed your eyes when you heard the door opening because you didn't want to make it obvious that you were waiting for him. Your back was facing his side. You felt the mattress sink behind you. You inaudibly gulped when you heard some shuffling before you felt his body warmth just behind you. He was inside the duvet. You mentally counted to 3. That's when he wrapped his arm around your waist, pulling you closer to his chest, spooning you. You exhaled when he placed his head just above yours. Are you sleeping, honey? You fake snout. It's easy to wake a person who is sleeping than the one who is already awake. His word brought out a smile on your face. He chuckled and pecked your cheek. I knew it. He raised his head a little. You opened your eyes and craned your neck to look at him. I am sorry, I really am. I was at fault, and talking back and raising my voice at you when I am the one wrong was a bigger mistake I committed. My sincere apologies. You cupped his cheek with your right hand. I am sorry too. I realized I was harsh. I should have been more calm. It was not your fault. I did wrong. But I shouldn't have called you irresponsible when I know you will never do something like that intentionally. But you informed me twice. I was being irresponsible. I shouldn't forget because work is not important than Jamin. I know, but you were tired by working whole day and I am sorry. No, I am sorry. But he cut you off by packing your lips. We are arguing again. You snickered. Let's end it here. No more sorry. He nodded and buried his face in the crook of your neck. You glided your fingers through his silky black hair, gently massaging his scalp. He hummed in ecstasy. Wine, he called out softly and raised his head to meet your eyes. You squinted your eyes when he made his infamous puppy face. What? About what Jimin said earlier. I also want a daughter. he mumbled, playing with your shirt buttons. How about a no? He puckered his lips and placed his head on your chest. Please, I promise I won't repeat whatever happened today. Are you sure? He raised his head and nodded multiple times. Pinky promise. He intertwined his little finger with yours. Only if you agree to change her diapers. He grinned and nodded. Fine. He chuckled, smashing his lips on yours. You reciprocated, pulling him closer by hooking your arms around his neck. The gentle and soft kiss soon turned into rough and passionate as it devoured your mouth with urgency. Discarding all the barriers between you both, he took you on the ride of great heights of heaven of pleasure, marking you his all over again. 9 months later, two cries echoed in the corridor of hospital, one of the newborn and other one of Jimin, who asked for a baby sister and instead got a baby brother. After some time, a third cry echoed, which was of their father, who was kicked by his wife because a father is to be blamed for baby's gender.